Welcome to an exciting episode of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 21 review. And this right here is hands down one of the best chapter of the year. Yes, I know it's only April, but as of right now, it's a contender of chapter of the year because we finally get Sadara's big moment, and she did not disappoint. And her Mangekyo ability is definitely top tier. Kunohamaru, get him the fuck out of here. I'm done with him. But before we start, we got Raysean on the podcast. Can you tell the viewers out there where can they find your podcast at?
You guys can find me on all your podcasting platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple, we're everywhere. Just check us out. We just released an interview with Mayuri Korsuchi. If you've watched Bleach, if you also think he's literally the MVP of the Thousand Year Blood War arc, like I do, you got to check it out. I will say when you say contender for chapter of the year, that's interesting. I know that the thing you've been harping on from like the beginning of the year is what is Sadara's Mangekyo abilities, and we got one. I don't know if she has
Yes.
another one because I don't know if both of them was being used in this situation, low key. Because technically, now that I'm thinking about it, two abilities could have been used in this situation. So you never know. This is pretty interesting. A hard way to rank how strong it is. Like
And oh my god, the ending. Boruto gave us a Trunks moment. If you know, you know.
actually, he kind of pissed me off with this ending.
We'll,
Like
we'll, we'll talk about that when we get to the end. But before we start, if you get the subscribe button, we're on the road to 1,000. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. So the chapter starts off with a flashback where Sadara's thinking about everything she's been through, talking about that she wants to be the Hokage, where Baruto's telling her, hey, you become the Hokage, I'm going to be your shadow Hokage. And right now she's reliving all the tragic moments that she's been through, where Baruto saved her while losing his eye, and where she unlocked her Gekio and convincing her father that Baruto's not the one who causes mayhem. It's Kawaki, which, she was able to convince him by using the Megekyo Sharingan. And right now, Boruto doesn't even know what the Megekyo is, so Sasuke's explaining to him that it unlocks by, psychological shock. That's how a lot of the Uchihas unlock the Megekyo. And he even said it once he unlocked the Mangekyo, it confirmed that, okay, I believe her, and we're all being duped by the omnipotents. And he also confirms that her eye ability will be a great asset moving forward in the story. Then we cut back to the current moment, and you see little portals around Ryu. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it gave me vibes when Naruto had the orbs around him when he first unlocked his sixth path form, which is so freaking badass. The portals is just absorbing the Iron Sand from Ryu. And as of right now, she's telling Mitsuki, hey, don't worry about me. Guard Arya and Yoda, and I got this right here. And she's saying that, yes, I just unlocked my ability, but I already know what to do with them. And I'm like, okay. But after this, moment with unlocking my Genki Shotgun, she's definitely going to need more training because if she could, unlock her full potential by using these portals, it's going to be really, really amazing. But as of right now, Ryu's getting pissed off, and he just using his Iron Sand to take her down. And he's noticing that he is surrounded by 4 spears, and looks so freaking badass. And all of a sudden, they start floating in the air. I'm like, holy shit. Mitsuki just confirms that she is able to mess with the gravitational force, and she's able to pick and choose who she wants in the air and who she could leave on the ground, because she left Mitsuki and everybody else on the ground, where she just took him and Ryu up there. Looks so fucking badass. And she's acknowledging that, hey, for me to be Hokage, for everything that's happened, throughout my whole story in Boruto, how powerless I've been, I've looked away. And that's it, no more. I'm going to realize that my ability can help people, and my feelings towards Boruto, my feelings towards everybody, no more hiding it. I'm going to unlock it and be me. And that's right now we see Ryu just, doing anything he can to, take down Sadara. And I love that she puts him up against the spear. Ryu can't move. He can't do nothing. As of right now, he's trying to bring, one of the claw grinds out. Can't do it. And Jiren even sensing that, oh shit, Ryu's in trouble. But he's still in the background for now. And Sadara says, for me to become the Hokage, I need to start accepting myself. And you see blood coming down her left eye, which looks her right eye looks so freaking badass. Just right now, using her true ability. And they call this one Mangekyo Sharingan Ohirume, which means the sun goddess. And then you see the patterns of her eyes orbiting around her, which looks so fucking badass. Right there, she was aura forming. She was just getting the clicks right there because that right there looks so freaking badass. And once she got the patterns around her, that was it for real. Obliterated. Complete dust. Nothing. And that right there, we finally got the moment. I've been waiting for since the side skip. What is Sadara's Mangekyo Sharingan ability? As of right now, we know that is gravitational pull and absorbing with her portals, like which is like Obito. But I think this is a little bit better than Obito because he was able to do it one time. She's able to have spears around the person as well. For now, only 4, which is confirmed. But Raysean, what you taking everything about Sadara's big moment finally in the Boruto manga?
Well, I think if you start from the beginning, and you basically go from her basically explaining how she felt like she was inept, that she didn't feel like she was strong enough to kind of be the Hokage anymore, and everything around her was just a lot. To her basically getting to this moment where Sasuke basically explains, it takes a lot of trauma, a lot of like mental trauma for the Mangekyo to awaken, and for him to basically be like, him seeing that was the main reason for him to be okay, she's telling the truth, because it has to be a lot going through her right now for her to have unlocked this, and she wouldn't be lying, like type thing. So he takes Boruto and everything and stuff like that, so then we wake up to where we at low key. So then she is talking to Mishki and everything, and then she unlocks this ability, and she's basically fighting the claw grime like they're on equal terms, which is to me interesting because now to me I feel like it makes you, it kind of pissed them all on a power level. Okay, now they're like at awakened Mangekyo level. You know what I mean? That's basically how kind of strong you can kind of pit them at level. Her ability, it's pretty cool because we haven't really gotten to see like gravity or anything like that being used. So I'm glad it's not like an ability we have already seen. One thing I think is interesting that you didn't hit on that I thought about, but it was a part where it was actually saying that the sun god, the sun god, what that her ability comes from is like connected to the Amaterasu.
Yes. I did miss that part.
So I thought that was a very interesting thing right there. I don't know if like the Amaterasu is also going to be an ability, or if this is just another connection on to that ability, like the god controls more than one thing type of thing. Which also I feel like is pretty cool because it also kind of like all their abilities are kind of connected. They might all follow one type of god or Greek god type of thing, which is cool. And it's kind of like just exploring the lore type of shit. But we do get a confirmed death, so it basically kind of symbolized the same thing with Sasuke. He kind of had to have someone had to die for him to kind of unlock his abilities, or we see his abilities thing. So that kind of transition to this moment too. We also get that confirmation that someone does die
So
before.
Amaterasu, right? If you look at the portals, I think they're the flames itself, which is if you're looking at it right now, I'm like, oh shit, I think that's the Amaterasu with the portal mixed together. So
That's
that's why I
interesting.
was like, ooh, okay. So mind you, he's getting burned the fuck up, and with the gravity at the same exact time. You fucking got me. I like it.
Man, I just thought that was interesting when it was like those two guys are like connected, or those like those abilities are connected. So I'm like, shit. So you think it's like pulling them into the fire?
Yeah, I think it's both.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but hey, I'm gonna go with that. That's fucking badass. You're getting burnt the fuck up, and gravity's destroying at the same exact time. Love it.
That's why I was like, I don't know if it's two different abilities, because is it like okay? Because what we seen, it could be two different things. Because it looked like she was controlling the gravitational force between them, lifting them up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's one ability. You being able to control the gravity of each anything around. Then she was able to expand one of those things and make it look like as if it was almost like a black hole type of thing, like absorbing him in type of thing. So like I didn't know if that's another ability within itself, because that seemed like is she creating a black hole right there? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely great stuff right there. And if you look at it, where she's floating around, she has the pattern of her Mangekyo around her, symbolizing the sun. Don't forget when Ada used her omnipotence, it was the shape of a moon. So I think it's
Mm.
teasing of a future battle with Sada and Ada, in my opinion. Which you're not gonna be wrong, but I think it's setting up for a future battle between those two.
You know what's funny? I think Ada's gonna be one of those characters. I think they've already kind of put that out there. I think she's gonna be one of those characters that got strong abilities, but she can't fight. I don't think she can fight because she do. She seemed very fearful of Bug. Like when she was explaining, like I forgot who she was talking to, but she was like, "Yeah, but one of them is after me," type of thing. Even though she got like Damon, and you got an ability that basically allow you to see if the motherfucker coming at you, she still seemed like she was terrified. Like you know what I mean? Like
You know what? Because mind you, Bug did watch over her for many years, so he probably knows some type of abilities that can counteract her on opponents or whatever about her seeing the future. I mean, the present and the past. I mean, could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Because why else would you be so afraid? Maybe the only thing is because he's ugly as fuck. That's pretty much it.
or I mean, he didn't get enough power from that transformation to make him a rival. Because before he was just like he an insect. We tell that motherfucker to fucking clean our ass, so you clean our ass. Now it's like he'll kill us. Like now he got the power to look at us like motherfucker, who you talking to? And we gotta understand. I feel like he's gonna be strong enough to fight Damon. Like
Yeah, which is I'm
oh,
waiting for now.
yes. So then we kind of move on to Ada basically confirming that Sadara won and that she awakened her ability. Then Kashin Koji
Yeah.
basically explains that to Boruto. Boruto basically asks him like, "Oh, is there any way she would have been able to do that without one of the Sand Village Shinobis, the girl I can't think her name at the
Yoda.
moment, Yoda, that could they have done that without her dying?" He basically like, if you would have went there and tried to save them, she would not have unlocked this ability, and we really needed her to unlock this ability because this ability is important. So that basically let us know that this is gonna come back in the future, low key, to do some crazy shit. So they're basically talking, and then Boruto gets to the moment where he asks him about Konohamaru, the captain, the main person that's supposed to be taking people down in this mission and everything, but asking him about him, and then what's his name is basically like, sometimes there's sacrifices need to be made and some shit like that. Which Boruto like those kind of situations, that type of language and everything that's going on, but he basically telling them like, Jorah can basically, the main claw grime can basically sense throughout the claw grime, and if he goes to the battlefield, he's basically putting his life on the line. So he needs to stay there and let whatever happens there happens, type shit. But Boruto being Naruto's son, and they got to protect everybody in the village. He basically, even with that warning, basically says "fuck you." Which me, if I'm coaching Kenji and I didn't basically did all this shit to protect you and then got you to this point, to you, we got a plan, and you literally breaking the plan. And one thing that I forgot to mention when they were talking and conversating, it was one thing he was like, "Oh, you didn't tell me that somebody would have had to die." And then what's his name was basically was like, "Yeah, I left out that part because I didn't want to basically give you that information because he didn't know how he would react or based on that type of information," which proves him to be right. Like that's the that I understand. Like he literally proves him right at the end when Boruto feels like he has to come, and they come back to a moment early on, which I said probably was going to be a situation where Boruto can come back, where Mitsuki had picked up this medal and was like, "Oh, this must be something he can teleport back to." They bring that back up. Loki shows us a scene from that, and then he appears and basically takes out the claw grime that's trying to kill Konohamaru and everything. And then what's his name is like, I'm coaching Kenji is like fuck, but Jorah's like, finally I didn't caught your ass. You didn't made it to the battlefield. So I'm gonna just throw in my little 2 cents about the situation. I want there to be a permanent type of situation to happen. Like I want Gora to come and someone dies because you came to this battlefield when he told you something bad was going to happen and you shouldn't go. So I feel like something bad this what should happen, and this is probably what's going to happen. Now that I think about it, he came there to save Konohamaru, but I feel like that didn't do nothing but delay his death. And I feel like what's going to happen is Konohamaru is going to probably have to be in a situation where he has to protect Boruto, and maybe he remembers just a little bit of something from day past or some shit, and has to step in front of something, and Konohamaru's out. Konohamaru's probably out of the game, man.
Yeah, talking about that, right? Because I said this in the previous chapters. I don't think Boruto and Kachikoji don't really trust each other at that point. Both of them have their own motive, obviously. But Kachikoji, there's something that he's hiding from Boruto because he knows that you see the future. You're telling me there's no way you could save Yoda. Like, Yoda had to be the sacrificial piece for Sarada to unlock Mangekyo. You know what I mean? Like, that right there. Like, Boruto, like, obviously he has, he was trained by Sasuke, and Sasuke, was straight ruthless, but he's still Naruto's son, and he's going to care deeply about people's, livelihood. And I guess this is it. I think he had enough of his shit. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna do my own things. I can't be sitting around while people are getting hurt, especially Konohamaru, which he looked up to as a kid, and which is still his captain. Because if you look right here in this panel, Kashikoji is looking at him very differently. Ada's looking at like, damn, this is getting real deep, and Boruto's looking like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do my own thing. And Konohamaru, I understand she got mad and you got impaled, but look at her. She has no arms and legs, and you're telling me you can't hit her with a double Rasengan again? You had to be saved by your student again. But Raysean, I know you didn't like it, but bro, the way he hopped in there, he was so fast. Konohama was still looking over here. Mitsuri was chopped up a million pieces, how Trunks chopped up Frieza. I would have loved, I mean, I know it's a little dark. Hit that bitch with her Rasengan and make sure she's done. Make sure there's no body parts for any left for regeneration and get that thorn board. Because, that's what's the main purpose of this. And Kashikoji's called, he basically said, yo, you're a fucking idiot. You're going to ruin everything. And Jiren's like, bet, you're out now. I'm coming out. And we're about to get shit rocking. And like you said, maybe there has to be a sacrifice for Boruto what he did. Either Gaara dies, or you kill Konohama right there, right in front of him. And, basically said, like, hey, you should never came out because these are the things that are about to happen, for these choices that you made.
I feel like it's gonna be something permanent is gonna have to low key happen here because there has to be a conflict. Something has to happen here for what's his name to be fearful to not let Boruto go there. And I feel like we also got to remember this. Koshi Kenji can see possible futures. And I think if I'm remembering correct, it's like he can send 10 possible futures, basically. Anything can change within those futures. Like just the smallest thing can change, and that future that he saw is low-key different. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's like he sees a situation 10 different times and it in 10 different ways. Like if that situation happens in 10 different ways, if it goes this route, this happens. I don't know if that's exactly how he sees it or if that's how it goes, but I don't think he has like the ability to make like to affect it. You know what I mean? To like he can just be like, bruh, what I saw, like if you go there, this is what happens. So that means he can see futures in which the world like Boruto dies. You know what I mean? So he knows, okay, if Boruto goes in this and does this, he dies. If in this future, if he doesn't do that, what's his name dies. I don't know how much far he can look past that. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, Konohamaru dies. If we still go to the end events, do we still win? Is his death consequential type of thing? That's a lot of things I also think he got to take into account too. Because maybe he like, okay, this death is not important. But if this was somebody that we needed at the end, oh yeah, Boruto, we need you to go over there and do something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. And then it is kind of because you can see it from Boruto's perspective. It's like, okay, you didn't tell me about this ability. So like, what if Sarada was in a position of dying? Like, would you tell me to go then? So maybe I can see from that perspective, like Boruto, like I can't trust you. But then from Koshi Kenji perspective, it's like, bro, you're a kid. You don't understand. You're not willing to make these choices. And I think that's the difference between considering yourself a ninja and considering yourself a tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Boruto, he got tired of it. He got seeing Yoda die, Konohamaru getting hurt. Sarada had to, see somebody die in front of her. Like he was like, you know what, enough holding back. Fuck it, I'm popping up, and it is what it is. And I'm not gonna lie to you. What I said from the time skip, I wanted to see Satoru's ability. Could we possibly see a quick glance of Momoshiki in the next chapter? I would be the happiest man in the world. But Raysean, what would you give this chapter overall?
I give this chapter probably about an 8.
I'll give this chapter a 9. Definitely love this chapter. A lot of aura farm between Sadara and Boruto. Finally seeing one of her abilities, which I've been harping for since the beginning of the time skip. Finally loving it. Boruto popping up, doing trunks, cut. Then I wish he would have hit the Rasengan and completely destroyed her. But besides that, definitely a great chapter. I'm excited for next chapter. We're gonna get Boruto versus Jiren. Cannot wait for that.
Man, that's gonna be an interesting fight. I wonder how. I wonder if he's just gonna like appear type shit. Then low key, it's only gonna be a fight between him and Boruto because mainly everybody else is either out or not in the predicament to even be fighting worthy. Like I don't see Mishiki doing nothing.
No,
He couldn't do nothing against the sand dude. Like, ooh, what is he about to do? You know what I mean? So I would be surprised if Kashi Koji appeared. Low key. If he appeared, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
He'd be like, you know what? I can't risk Boruto dying. And I have to go. That would be interesting. Like, okay, now he must got some bullshit low key. Like, but all right.
Yeah, but guys, comment below. Tell us about your favorite moment in this chapter. And before we end this, guys, Rayshawn, can you tell the viewers out there where can they find your podcast at?
You guys can find me on all your podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple, YouTube, stuff like that. We release every 2 to 1 week, you know, on the YouTube, every 2 weeks on the audio feed. We try to do every week. We've been a little slow on that, but we're trying to kick back on that. Also, I want to say happy Easter to everybody out there. Stay blessed.
Yes, happy Easter to everyone. Also, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000. And until next time.
Peace.